Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Thursday, July 24th wildfire briefing. As of 11 o'clock this morning, we had 56 active wildfires. 4 of those were categorized as contained, 15 not contained, 19 ongoing assessment, and 18 are listed as protecting values. As of this year, at this time, we've had 392 wildfires, which is well above the 5-year average of 319. At this time, we have 7 communities that are on full evacuation order and another 4 that have evacuated P1s and P2s. And just a reminder, P1s and P2s are individuals that have underlying health issues, elderly, very young, or pregnant women, just to make sure that they get out of those smoky conditions. Those communities are Lac La Planche, Beauval, Jans Bay, Little Amiot Lake, Pachinak, and English River First Nation. Canoe Lake have evacuation orders in place. Currently, there are around 3,000 individuals that have evacuated throughout the province at this point in time, and some of those are being supported by SPSA, while others are being supported by MLTC. Evacuees should register through the Sask Evac web app and then call the 1855 line between 8 and 5 for any assistance in registering if that is needed. As we've said in the past, the SPSA will request resources from the federal government if needed to support the agency's efforts. Yesterday, Minister MacLeod sent a letter to the federal minister, Olszewski, requesting that support. The federal government will be providing Saskatchewan with additional Type 3 crews to work on the wildfires, as well as helicopters to support transport and transportation of personnel. I do want to acknowledge and be very thankful of the support that we have received throughout this wildfire season around Saskatchewan, from across Canada, the United States, and even into our international partners of Mexico and Australia. Thus far, the SPSA has been able to receive specialized aircraft, wildfire suppression equipment, Type 1 and Type 2 personnel from multiple mutual aid partners, as well as volunteer fire departments and contractors that we have used throughout the season. And we continue to receive local and Type 1 supports from our partners, and I will go into what we have in the province here shortly. At this point in the wildfire operation, the agency has an increased need for Type 3 wildfire firefighters. And in wildfire operations, Type 3 crews are hired on an as-needed basis, typically used on fire lines that are under control or have low fire activity, allowing for the repositioning of our Type 1 and Type 2s to areas of the fire to perform either initial attack or sustained action activities on either more active wildfires or on areas of that fire that are seeing increased activity. The SPSA has many trained Type 3 firefighters in the province. And prior to going to the federal assistance, we have worked with our First Nations partners and partnerships with PAGC and others. And we currently have 182 Type 3 personnel working with SPSA at this point in time. But as there is an increased need, as I said, we have now gone through and asked for federal assistance. As of out-of-province support, since the last update, SPSA has received an additional 22 operations or Type 1 staff from New Brunswick. That brings the external resources to 2 CL-415s from Quebec, 41 individuals from Mexico, 41 firefighters from Australia, 22 firefighters from Nova Scotia, 12 from Ontario in regards to an incident management team, and now 22 firefighters from New Brunswick. We also are expecting another 41 Type 1 firefighters from Quebec that should be arriving either later today or sometime tomorrow. So again, I would like to pass on my great appreciation and thanks to all those individuals that have supported the efforts in Saskatchewan, whether they are SPSA individuals, SPSA staff, support or frontline, our crews and our crew members that are coming from all across Canada to support us, as well as our compact partners throughout the United States and our international partners. In regards to the recovery efforts, the Community Resilience Center in Denair Beach was open again this week. And again, we've been reports that there were dozens of individuals that there to get information from a one-stop shop in regards to the efforts that are going on with Denair and the recovery task team as they work to rebuild their community. We are all also at this point in time asking all PDAP applicants to get their application into PDAP, even if they are incomplete, as we will work with them and the insurer as well as the community ownership or the communities to move that PDAP application forward. And I guess with that, I will stop and turn it back to you, Kara, for questions.
Thanks, Marlo. As I mentioned before, we are going to go to one question, and then if we have time afterwards, we'll go to follow-ups. So I will first go to Alec S. And if everyone could please identify yourself and what outlet you're from as well, please.
For sure. This is Alec Salome with the Regina Leader Post. Marlo, can you tell a little bit about what was the sort of tipping factor in requesting assistance from the federal government? If you can be as specific as possible, that'd be appreciated.
Thanks for the question, Alec. I think there's never been not a requirement or a need to use the federal assistance. It really is around right resources at the right time. We have seen that a number of weeks ago, the fire activities were, rank 4, 5, and 6, where we could not put individuals in the path of those flames. Over the last number of weeks, we have seen significant work done by our Type 1s and Type 2s. We've seen some cooler weather, so our fire activity is less. We are starting to see some containment on these fires. We went to our First Nation partners as well to supplement our resources through their Type 3 trained individuals. We appear to have exhausted that list at this point in time, although we will continue to work with our First Nation partners to get more individuals. So it was really a number of factors. The fires are allowing for us to put Type 3s onto the line and help to allow us to move other Type 1s and Type 2s to more active areas of those fires. As well as our current Type 3 resources that we have trained in the province have appeared to have been maxed out, and we are still in a need to get more due to the fire situation. And I'll leave it at that.
Thanks, Marlo. We will now go to Alexander Q.
Hi, this is Alexander Kwan with CBC News. I guess my question for you is, what are these Type 3 firefighters going to be doing in Saskatchewan once they're deployed, and when are they expected to arrive?
We made the federal assistance yesterday. We have had an advanced group from the Canadian Armed Forces arrive today, and they are working with Steve and others in Prince Albert to understand the mission and logistics of where they should be deployed to. We have made a request of up to 300 personnel or 300 Type 3 personnel. We understand that they will arrive between 36 and 48 hours. And they will be put on the line working with our staff in areas that are of low intensity so that we are able to move our Type 1 and Type 2s to other areas of fire, more active fire areas.
Thanks, Marlo. Steve, did you have anything else to add to that one, or should we move on?
I can just add that we have the intention of splitting up these resources from the Canadian military and focusing on a couple areas within the province, so they will not all be collectively on just one fire. We'll move them and put them on a couple incidents to assist us, as they get deployment, and that will be firmed up over the next 24 to 36 hours.
Thank you, Steve. Next, we will go to Shane C.
Hi guys, Shane Clausing with the 650 CQM News here in Saskatoon. Just wondering, just from your guys' perspective, is there some disappointment that this call wasn't made sooner? I know there were calls earlier when the situation was really bad in June that some people were saying that the military should have been called in sooner. Is there any disappointment from you guys on that? And I guess too, was it possible to get that military assistance given everything that was going on across Canada with the wildfires in other parts of other provinces?
Thanks for the question. Oh, sorry.
That's okay. I'm just going to step in and remind everyone that we're going to do one question. We'll do follow-ups after. But Marla, if you want to respond to the question.
Yep. First of all, you're asking me if I'm disappointed. Well, let's clarify that the decision to ask for federal assistance is an SPSA decision. The Sask party is not a operational decision maker, albeit that is some of the language that is out there. We have highly trained women and men that are trained in wildfire response. So that decision, again, going back to the right resources at the right time. So back in June, we know that we were having rank 4, rank 5, rank 6 fires. Hot, dry, extremely windy conditions with fire spotting 500 meters and more ahead. So extremely volatile, erratic fire behavior. Type 3 firefighters, whether it was provincial type 3 firefighters or military type 3 firefighters, that was not the time to even consider putting those individuals anywhere near those fires. They do not have the level of training. We focus on safety of individuals. So again, going back to the situation has allowed us to now look at enhancing our Type 3 program. The fire activity on some of these fires, because of the absolute phenomenal work that we've already put into it from Type 1s and Type 2s and our partners from throughout the compacts, are now allowing us to stabilize some of those lines and those containment lines by bringing in extra Type 3s. It's not about timing should have been 7 weeks ago, because that was not the right time. It is now, and we have brought in over the last number of weeks our Type 3s from our First Nations partners, but we can use more. So that is why we've asked at this point in time.
Thank you, Marlo. We will now go to Susan M.
You can hear me probably.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I just have a very basic question. I was doing a rough add up, and it looks like there's well over 1 million hectares of forest burning right now. Can you give me a more accurate number?
Steve, I'll give you that.
Sure. Currently in Saskatchewan, year-to-date number is approximately 1.8 million hectares so far. All of the active fire on the landscape right now, of course, is not burning. Typically, it's just the perimeters. So even though we have a lot of fires, it looks like we have almost 1 million active fire. It's not all actively burning. But year-to-date, combined area impact in Saskatchewan is about 1.8 million hectares.
Thank you, Steve. Jeff, is there questions in the chat?
Yes, a question from Arjun of the Prince Albert Daily Herald. MLA Jordan McPhail says it took 7 weeks to request federal help and called the response chaotic. Why the delay?
Marlo? We might have answered. No, I was just going to say we might have answered part, but go ahead.
I think I answered it all just prior to that, Jeff, but I'll go through it again. It is really unfortunate, and it really is sad to see the divisive messaging that is going out right now in regards to I guess I would use the term out of context or half truths. As I said 7 weeks ago, we were seeing rank 4, rank 5, rank 6 fires. At that point in time, type 3 firefighters, which of course the military is, they are not firefighting is not their primary task. We were bringing in resources at that point in time through our SPSA partnerships, our compacts, both national and international. We were bringing in other assets of highly trained type 1 and type 2 firefighters that allowed us to be active safely and combat fires that were being erratic, being driven by high winds and extremely volatile situations. So again, it's about right resourcing at the right time. And we have always been in contact with the federal government to understand capacity and need, but it really is about a situation that has now presented it to us in regards to being able to safely deploy further type 3s on fires that are having some less activity that allows us to stabilize the containment of those fires. And that is why the time is right for us to ask for federal assistance at this point in time.
Thanks again, Marlo. I'll now go over to Jeremy S.
Hey there, Jeremy Symes with the Canadian Press. I understand what you're saying about the type 3 firefighters. I'm just wondering, did the SPSA not need these extra sprinklers, the helicopters, and the water haulers that you are now asking for?
Marlo?
Yes, we have continuously looked for value protection units. We have brought in contractors. We are been advised at this point in time that the federal assistance will include type 3 firefighters and helicopter support. Up to this point in time, we have been able to access helicopters through SPSA, but by bringing in more resources, more type 3 resources, we're going to need more air assets to move those resources. So of course, when we're bringing in extra individuals, we're going to be looking for logistics support to move those assets around. So again, going back to the statement, the right resources at the right time, and both the helicopters and the type 3s are now. And we will continue to look for value protection units and working with partners as this fire season continues.
Thanks, Marlo. Mackenzie M.
Thanks for taking my question. Yeah, this is Mackenzie with Global News. Just kind of switching gears a little bit here. I'm more so curious, kind of what was the extent of the SPSA's role in this situation this morning regarding the dangerous person alert. It's my understanding SPSA operates Sask Alert to kind of put out the notices, and I've heard there's been issues in the past with these alerts. Just wondering, were there any complications in getting that alert out to the public this morning? And yeah, the extent of the SPSA's involvement in the situation.
Thanks for the question, Mackenzie. I can tell you that I have not heard any issues about the Sask alert that went out this morning about the dangerous individual. But what or how that process works is the RCMP are a partner in Sask Alert and are able to put out their own alerts. I do not have the details on whether it was an SPSA an alert that was put out, but I'm assuming because it was an RCMP involved incident, they would have put out their own alert. I received the alert, as did many others, and like I said earlier, I have not heard anything that the alerts did not go to those individuals that needed to get it at that point in time.
Thanks, Marlo. We'll now go to Keenan S.
Oh, my apologies, everybody. I forgot to take my hand down. My question was answered. I won't waste your time. Thank you.
Thank you for your honesty. Are there any follow-up questions? Alec S.
Oh, there, yeah, Alec with the leader post again. I think just kind of building off of part of what Jeremy asked there. You said, Marlo, this is a matter of the right resources at the right time, but wouldn't have made sense to have put out a call to the feds earlier for things like fire suppression units, like these sprinkler sets and other material like that? If not personnel and if not air support, why not make a call for additional sprinkler and protection like that?
We continue to work with our SPSA partners, and at this point in time, the sprinklers or the value protections are not being filled at the federal level. We will continue to try to get more through our SPSA partnerships, our provincial partnerships, and our compacts. We were able to get some throughout this, but they were a little slower than we would have liked. But the ask again is really around when we make a federal ask is there was still a gap around the value protection, so we asked for it. And unfortunately we didn't get them at this point in time, and we will continue to strive to find them from other sources.
Thanks, Marlo. Next, we'll go to Alex Q.
Alex Kwan with CBC again. I wanted to ask about the Métis Nation Saskatchewan recently declared a state of emergency in their northern third zone, and I'm just wondering. I spoke with some of their leaders today, and they mentioned wanting to get more involved and have a more leadership role with SPSA. I guess, have you had any conversations with Métis Nation Saskatchewan about getting them more involved in kind of the planning or resource management around these fires?
Thanks for the question, Alex. I can tell you that I have had conversations with Métis Nation in the past. I have not had one recently, but I am always open to those conversations in regards to understanding. We do have representatives from SPSA that work with many of our First Nations and Métis Nation EOCs throughout the province to ensure that there is a two-way communication. So that those communication lines are always open, and they will continue to be open. So it depends on what the conversation or context of your conversation was, but I'd be more than happy to talk to the leadership of the Métis Nation.
Jeremy S.
There, yeah, just a follow-up. Jeremy Symes with the Canadian Press. I'm just looking to see if there's any truth to this here, but I'm hearing there were military personnel on payroll in late June while the SPSA was fighting fires. And so I'm hearing the personnel could have helped fight these fires at that time, but they were on standby until they could be called in. Is this true?
Steve, would that be something, or Marlo? Okay.
I'm going to ask you a question, Jeremy. On payroll on who? I didn't quite understand.
It would be,
the question.
yeah, like it would be with the federal. It would be with the federal government. But I'm just wondering if the SPSA would have had knowledge of that.
No, I can tell you that I have personally had conversation with the federal government, Public Safety Canada, many times throughout this season. So what that means and what the context is I'm not aware of that. But again, going back to the two-way communication, we work closely with Public Safety Canada and the federal government. There has been no military personnel on our payroll. If that was the and I think I'm misreading the question, but at the end of the day, there was again, going back to the right time, right resources at the right time, and what they can bring to the table. But those conversations have been going on for weeks.
Before we go to Jeff, does that answer your question, Jeremy? I think maybe there's some confusion on our side, maybe.
Yes, it does. I mean, I'll have to go to Ottawa to get whatever they say on their end, but for now, yes, that'll do. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Jeff, question in the chat.
Yes, we've got another question from the Prince Albert Herald. Given the workforce shortage, is the province considering training people already here on valid work permits to support wildfire efforts?
Marlo or Steve?
Thanks for the question, Jeff. At this point in time, we have not called out for general, individuals that are on work permits to come work, but we are partnering with PAGC, a number of the First Nations communities. We have continually trained our Type 3 firefighters. We go to our partners on the volunteer fire departments, and we use a number of, again, going back to this compact. So that is not something that is being currently considered. We are, looking for individuals that are trained at this point in time. and we will continue working with those partnerships moving forward.
Next, we'll go to Alec S.
Yeah, sorry, I just wanted to try and follow up on what you said with respect to those value protection kits, because from my read of the press release from yesterday, part of the request to the feds was value protection kits, water tenders, water haulers as well. So am I misunderstanding something here? You're saying that we're not getting this from the feds, or what exactly? I just don't understand what your answer was to my previous question.
Absolutely, Alec. What I've been advised, and this may change, but at the earliest conversation, at this point in time, we are going to get air assets, which are the helicopters, and the Type 3 firefighters. Those are the resources that are coming from the feds. We did ask for water haulers and more value protection, but those are assets that can be obtained, often obtained through SPSA and through other provinces. So we will continue to work on those already established supply lines. But at this point in time, the federal assets that are coming are the Type 3 firefighters and helicopters.
Thanks, Marlo. I apologize, Alex. Q, I think I accidentally skipped over you. Go ahead.
Not a problem. I just wanted just a little bit of clarification. In terms of how many, I know that you've requested 300 Type 3 firefighters. How many are being sent? And you said 36 to 48 hours. Does that mean 36 to 48 hours after the request that they're expected to arrive, or within the 36 to 48 hours from now?
Thanks for the question. Yes, we have made a request of 300 personnel, and as I understand, we will get 300 personnel. There will, of course, be a command group and support logistics group that will be made up of that 300. So I've been told that it'll be about 270 to 280 personnel that would be available to work as Type 3 firefighters. We have representatives from the Canadian Armed Forces that currently in Prince Albert doing an advanced group and doing an assessment of the mission, the locations, logistics that are required when they're moving individuals. So as of today, we've been advised that we would have further personnel, those 300 personnel, within the next 36 to 48 hours. So I expect that we will have those individuals on the ground in Saskatchewan on July 26th at some point in time.
Thank you, Marlo. With that, we've hit 2 o'clock, so we have reached the end of our briefing. We'll remind everyone that this will be on YouTube and Facebook afterwards, and thank you to everyone. Have a safe rest of your day.